Welcome to the Sisters of Sexuality 5 Shades of Play podcast. Question: are you a subscriber of our show? If not, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and on our YouTube channel. Today's episode is sponsored by Liberator Sex Pills and Shapes. Are you ready to treat yourself to something delicious? Take a look at the Bon Bon Petite Toy Mount by Liberator.com. It is ideal for solo play as it holds both dildos and vibrators, and the Bon Bon is a fan favorite. The super dense foam supports you while straddling, leaving your hands free for exploration. With its moisture-proof lining and soft removable washable cover, it is a perfect way to indulge yourself with this clever addition to your sex toy mount collection and turn any toy into the ultimate sweet spot confection. Visit Liberator.com today to get your very own Bon Bon in a color that suits your room's decor. That's Liberator.com. Now, let's get started with our show. Hello, sexies. You are listening to Sisters of Sexuality, 5 Shades of Play, and I am Taylor Sparks, your host and sex goddess for the evening. We are here for the purposes of educating, entertaining, and informing you in all areas of sexuality, sexual health, kink, relationships, and the business of sex. I am so excited, as I am every week, to bring you a new guest, but this guest is extra special. But before I bring her on, let me tell you a little bit about her. Renee Adolphe, also known as Prandhara Prem, yes, her Sannyas, given at her Tantra initiation, which means go with the flow of love and life. Prandhara is the founder and CEO of Prandhara Prem Therapies. She believes we have the ability to manifest all of our desires. She feels most comfortable in nature, and her life's philosophy is anchored in the understanding that we are all connected. Tantra embodies Prandhara's vision and helps others to feel this connection. Prandhara is an energy healer, meditation facilitator, organizer, Tantric Therapist, sex and relationship coach, rebirther, spiritual woman, teacher, and an eternal student. Prandhara's mission is to travel the world teaching women to heal themselves and how to connect to their innate power. She has been featured in countless publications and television shows around the world, including Lifetime's Married at First Sight as the Tantric Couples Therapist, Soledad O'Brien, Black Rome, Salvador on Fox News, Exio Nicole, Mind Body Green, Corset Magazine, UOL, and The Griot. Prandhara has been on multiple radio stations and podcasts, including Women Speak by Grace Lennis, The Cinnamon Traveler on WRFG Atlanta FM 89.3, and online at WRFG.org. Through her journey of sexual healing towards wholeness and expanded pleasure, she has come to believe that there is a lot more to sex and pleasure than what our culture has led us to believe. Prandhara, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It is such an honor to be here on this show with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I am excited to have you. Just that we were talking before we started the recording. We had tried to do this once before, and then I think I moved or my head got turned upside down. I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm sure it had something to do with me. But I am so, girl, you were just doing like all of this. And so the question always starting at the beginning, okay, how did you, how did you get into Tantra and spiritual healing and being a rebirther? And what is a rebirther? And tell us.
Yeah, so much. So, I think it's been in me, right? Just I was born a tantric person. So it's crazy because growing up, I grew up to a Haitian family who's Catholic. So I grew up Catholic, all of this shame and guilt, and you got to wear this, you got to wear that, you can't dress like this, you can't say these things. But I've always been very sexual. Okay. And so I would always want to wear like the half shirts and show my body off. And my family's like, who is this child? Like, where did she come from? All of my siblings are opposite. They're all very conservative and not me. And so, just I became a psychotherapist. And at the age of 35, I was like, there's something more, right? There's something
Okay.
more. I had always been sexual, like I said. Never really wanted to stay in one relationship. I'd had so many different partners. I was a serial monogamist, right? But my
Okay.
relationship
Okay.
lasted 3 months because I would get tired. I'm like, more, I need more, right? And so at 35, I was like, okay, let me take a little sabbatical, work on myself. So I shut down my private practice as a psychotherapist
Okay.
and decided to go and figure out what was wrong with me. And
Right.
nothing wrong with
Ain't nothing
me.
wrong with you.
Wasn't nothing wrong with me. But I was like, okay, something must be. And, so throughout my travels, it's make a long story short, I started in India doing the meditation and all of that. Then I went through South America, traveled all throughout South America. When I got to Brazil, I ended up moving to Brazil and I opened up a treatment center, a healing
Oh,
center, I should
wait,
say.
where in
It was
Brazil were you?
Salvador, Bahia.
Okay. Okay. I've never been there. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Amazing, amazing. And I was just doing therapy. I was doing Reiki,
Mm,
journeying because I had did medicine woman healing course training.
wow.
I've, I've worked a lot with indigenous people throughout South America in the
Yes.
Amazon doing medicine healing. And so a friend of mine says, hey, I have a friend who teaches Tantra. Can she come and use your space? Never even heard of it. So I was like, okay, yeah, she could come and use my space.
Yes.
She came and did a 6-week Tantra training. And I was like, oh my God, this is the missing thing. Like learning how to channel my sexual energy. I didn't know that
Yes.
was a thing. And that was the
Okay.
thing I needed to learn how to do. I had so much sexual energy and I
Hmm.
would sleep with so many different men. I was going through South America and I was like, let me try a Argentinian man. Let me try a
I know,
Chilean
but they're
man,
South
Peruvian.
American men. How could you not?
So
I'm
I got
like, I don't know
experience.
about the channeling, but shit, I'm just like, it's South America. We're gonna do
Right?
Colombian, Argentinian, with the
Yes,
Colombian poppy, the Argentinian poppy.
yes, get that Latino love and passion. And so, when I found that, I was like, oh, there's a way I can channel this energy without feeling shame, without
Hmm.
feeling guilt. And I can
Hmm.
use this energy to help me to create, right? To
Hmm.
manifest and create different projects, different courses, whatever I wanted in my life, you
Right.
know? And so that was amazing. And then she left, and I'm like, okay, now I got to find this in Brazil. Turns out I end up finding a Tantra commune, like community, and I ended up
Okay.
living there for 2 years,
Oh my
learning
gosh.
tantric, yes, tantric meditation, tantric yoga, tantric massage, and it was just everything that I needed to heal my body, right? To even
Mm,
our bodies hold on to traumas, and our yoni, the vagina,
sure.
holds on to all of that, right? Because what was
Yes.
happening was I would have sex with these different people, but I would feel empty afterwards. I would feel
Mm,
like, oh, something is just not quite right. Even though in a moment I had fun, but then
sure.
after I
Sure.
was like,
It didn't
okay,
sustain you.
it didn't sustain me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, I always say, man, learning Tantra, I have far less sex now. But it's quality, not the quantity that I
Exactly.
realized. And again, nothing, no shaming, nothing is wrong.
Mhm.
But for me, I started realizing I'm having way better sex. I'm
Yeah.
having more intimate connections and it's sustaining me, it's fulfilling me
Yes.
as opposed to draining me and leaving me empty inside. Right. Because
Yes.
I would just have the wrong type of partners who weren't at where I was,
Yeah.
who really just wanted my energy, almost
Yes.
like vampires, right? I would choose wrong partners. And
Sure.
now I'm
Sure.
choosing people who are at my level where I am, right? And
Sure.
we can do different things, stare into each other's eyes, breathe together, and just
Yeah.
have another connection. And whether we want to have penetration or not doesn't matter, right? Because I've
Hmm.
learned I can have orgasms even without. Now, having a
For sure.
penetration is like the cherry on the top,
Well,
right?
yes.
But
If
I
we
learned
must have some.
it would be yes. So, so it was really about my healing. And me learning to accept myself and love myself and
Hmm.
learning different ways to channel this energy. And don't get me wrong. Sometimes I just want to fuck and just
Hey,
have a good
listen, you're talking
time.
to a sex goddess. Trust me, I'm all with you on all of that.
Oh, yeah, so it's not one thing and you can't
Mm-mm.
have the other. It's learning how to accept all of you, the dark, the light, you
Yes,
know.
yes, yes, yes. That is amazing. I think I'm sure you know my girlfriend and fellow sex goddess, Parish Michelle Blair. Do you
Yes,
know
yes,
Parish? Yeah. So Parish and I,
yes.
we have these deep conversations about sex and no sex and our different journeys. And I'm like, I'm not doing abstinence. I don't care. She's like, yeah, but and I'm like, I even the sex I'm having, it's like good enough. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good with good enough.
You
Because
know,
I get what I need. I don't feel it may not sustain me, but I don't feel empty. And I'm like, no, it's good. I'm fine.
mhm. And it's funny because recently I had a couple of people say, why don't you be celibate? And I was like, okay, maybe I'll be celibate. And I was like, it didn't happen. Because I'm like at a
Well,
different place.
celibate or abstinence, because celibate is mostly religious based. So was it
Yeah.
like a religious journey or without sex, or abstinence just without the sex?
Well, so they were saying to be celibate, right? Like for this religious. And I was like, that doesn't work for me. That
Yeah.
doesn't work for me. And so,
Mm.
when they were like, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll try it. And I was like, no,
No,
I can be
why?
abstinent. Right. Why?
I don't even want
I
to be
can be,
abstinent
yeah. And I was
on
like, I can
purpose.
be abstinent if I wanted to. Well, sometimes it's just because it just happens. I'm like, well, shoot, I just went 3, 4 months without.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, but my name is go with the flow of love and life, right? And so
sure.
if I try, and that's one of the things that I learned, I can try, but then I'm not really going with the flow. And so I could say,
Mm,
okay, let me be abstinent or celibate, whatever you call it,
sure.
depending on, the context. But then if there's a great connection, I may miss that, right? Like a fleeting. So I go with the flow.
That makes such perfect sense to me. I was speaking with a gentleman recently who is vanilla for all intents and purposes. And when we met, he told me that he was abstinent. Oh, good for you. But we can hang out. And then somehow he thought, bless his heart, somehow he thought there was like we were like getting romantically connected. And it kind of bothered him. And then he got like distant, like, what's going on with you? He was like, well, I just don't want to have a romantic connection. I'm like, I thought we cleared this up when we first met. You said you don't have sex. So that puts you off the table for anything with
Mm-hmm.
me, because I don't date men I'm not romantically involved with anybody who doesn't have sex. So you're good. Don't,
Right.
but helping people learning, I always talk about people learning how to use their words. Just say what's on your mind. Don't hold
Mm-hmm.
it in, get all crazy and frustrated. And
Right.
you're already not having sex and frustrated. Well, I mean, any state. So, what would you say that this kind of journey through India and then South America, would you say this was your eat, pray, love moment? It just fell into this kind of way, or were you on a specific journey?
Mhm. So it was my eat, pray, love moment. It's so funny because a client of mine, as a psychotherapist, my client had just read Eat, Pray, Love, and she was like, "Oh, I so relate to the character Elizabeth Gilbert." So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Let me read the book so I can understand my client." I read the book and I was like, "I need to do this." So that's why, based on that Eat, Pray, Love book, I was like, "Okay, I'm going to
Yes.
do." But my plan really was to do India for 3 months and then
Mm-hmm.
Argentina for 9 months. It
Okay.
wasn't planned to go throughout South America. And why I wanted to do that was India to do the 3 months of meditation, connect with
Mm-hmm.
myself, and then Argentina because I wanted to learn Spanish. I had already been studying Spanish, and a
Right.
lot of my clients spoke Spanish, and so I wanted to perfect my Spanish. And so that's why I chose that. And even when I went to Argentina, I was like, I stayed at a Hare Krishna farm,
Oh,
or a
wow.
Hare Krishna yoga park, I should say,
Okay. Okay.
just doing more yoga. But the irony of that was Hare Krishna, like they're very spiritual, no
Right.
sex. And so
No sex?
again,
Harry Christians don't have sex?
well, I guess they do, but on the yoga, they don't.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
really do believe it's for procreation. And
Oh,
so even if they're married, they're really strict actually. Even if they're married,
oh,
um, they're supposed to only have sex for procreation and not just for pleasure.
Couldn't
And
be
so,
couldn't be Hare Krishna.
yeah. And I
Because
lived
what
there
do
for
you do
like
when
a
your
month.
childbearing years are over? You just don't have any more sex for the
Have
next
sex.
40
But
something years of
they still having sex. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, a lot of these religions are like, and they be the worst ones a lot of times because you have
yeah,
all of this repression, and
yeah,
then they end up cheating on each other, doing all of this stuff, and then lying,
doing the
right?
most. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Just be
So
authentic.
you have to be authentic. And sex is a natural thing. It's a part of us.
God made
And
sex,
it's
and like
our
Paris,
power.
God
Yeah.
made sex, and Paris says sex. God is in the orgasms.
And our clitoris, its only purpose is for pleasure. So how
That's it.
can we be created with a clitoris and not deserve to have pleasure?
You know,
You know?
dolphins have clitorises.
Oh my God. Yes, I heard that. I completely forgot about that. Oh, they are so lucky.
Girl, there's only 7 of us mammals that have sex only for the purpose of pleasure. There's us, dolphins, bonobos, chimpanzees, apes, shit, lions, and I think the sea otter.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Everyone else is on instinct.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that was part of my Eat, Pray, Love and journey. And Argentina was also for eating, because Argentina has some good pizza, some good steak, good
I've
wine,
been there. Yes.
So what I had decided to do was do the 3 months in India, and then my first month in Argentina at the Hare Krishna Eco Yoga Park, so I can continue with the meditation stuff, but kind of ease my way back into society. And the rest of my time was going to be just enjoying life, eating, drinking. And so,
and having and enjoying the sex with the men.
Yes. So I went, in India too. I ended up having a couple of Indians.
I've dated an Indian man. I think all men of color are just amazing, but
just amazing.
And I'm not knocking non-men of color, but
right. And they're so beautiful. And it wasn't until I got to India where I was like, wow, they're really attractive.
They are some of them are so handsome.
So sexy. Oh my God. I was just like, okay. I'm like, I know I'm on my pray journey right now, and I'm supposed to be meditating and doing yoga, but yo, I'm like,
you want to come by and help me pray a little? Let's pray together. Or love a little. We can pray after.
Incense, right? Sex meditation, light some incense and some candles,
See, I'm with you. I need to get your journey. I need to do your journey.
Well, and actually in India was the first time I actually experienced Tantra, but I didn't know that. So I had met a guy. I went to Goa, not Goa, Gokarna, which is like a beach town in India, which is similar to Goa, which is why I said Goa. And so when I was there for like 2 weeks. I met a guy, fine as hell. Oh my God, he was so fine. Yeah. And so I met him, and then took him back to my place, my room, the resort where I was staying. And we had a tantric experience, and I didn't know that. And so we didn't have penetration, but we kind of like sat in that, what they call the Yabby-Yum position with me on top. And we were staring into each other's eyes and breathing together. And I had multiple orgasms, and I was like, what did he just do to me? Like, what just happened? And he never said anything. He never mentioned the word. And I was like, wow, this is great. And so it wasn't until 2 years later, when I started learning Tantra, that I realized, I actually had a Tantric experience. So that's why I say, and I know Tantra was something that was already in me and something I needed to learn, because it was coming to me. It came to me without me even looking for it or trying to find it, not even knowing what it was.
Oh my God. So now how long has that been since you became certified or in Tantra?
So I went into the Tantra commune to learn and get certified in 2015. What are we in 2023? So almost 10 years, 8 years. Yeah, but I started in 2010, where I had that experience. That was in 2010. And then 2011 was when I did my first 6-week course. And then prior to living in the commune, I had found a Tantra yoga studio that I was going to. and just doing some Tantra yoga. Yeah. So it's been since like 2010. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
13 years
all this
total.
talk about hot men and hot sex leads me to our sponsor. So I just have to mention them because if you are ready to elevate your intimate moments, I want to introduce you to Union Vegan Condoms, the game changers in the world of pleasure and protection. Yes, they are vegan. No, they are not a lettuce wrap. You cannot eat them, right? So experience the ultimate connection with our precision fit vegan condoms, meticulously designed to let you feel it all. Say goodbye to animal byproducts and unpleasant odors because at Union, they keep it clean and simple with their formulas. Union condoms are more than just protection, they're your ticket to safe and comfortable intimacy for all of your body parts. So why wait? Elevate your pleasure with Union Condoms today. Visit them at unioncondoms.com and redefine your intimacy game. That's unioncondoms.com. And if you sign on their site today, you can get 20% off of your first order using the coupon code Organic Love. That's LOVE, Organic Love. So try Union Comms and rediscover the joy of connection. And of course, always practice safe and consensual intimacy. In India and Argentina and Colombia, in the US and Japan. Have you been to Asia?
Yeah. So I spent went to Thailand and I went to Indonesia as well. Yes.
Was this all on the Eat, Pray, Love tour?
No, that was after. That was after. So after I
Okay.
learned Tantra, I wanted to go and study some more. So I did a Taoist course in Thailand. It was a training. I'm training your inner sexual feminine energy. And then I went to Bali. Those were all into just before COVID in
Okay.
2018. I think I went to
How
Thailand in
long are some of the
2019.
courses, though?
How
How
long were
long
the
are, yeah, how long were like the courses and certification? Were they like weekends, weeks, or?
Oh, the one that I did in Thailand was like 6 weeks.
Okay, okay,
6 weeks.
okay.
Yeah. So, I've always worked for myself. So when I travel, I've always had that luxury of being able to stay 2, 3, 4 months and
Yes, there's nothing like working
working
working for yourself
virtually.
and
Right.
remote.
Right.
Yes.
So that was really a blessing that I could just do that. And but while I was there, both places, I saw clients. Like everyone wants Tantra, right? So
Yes, yes.
both places, I started offering workshops. I started in groups. I started doing individual sessions with the rebirthing, with tantric massage.
Oh,
You
let's
know,
talk about the rebirthing.
yeah.
Tell us, what
So
is the rebirthing?
yeah, so rebirthing, it's a series of breath work, circular breath work, where you're breathing
Mhm,
in and out through
mhm,
your mouth without any pauses. But what it does is it helps you to tap into your power. And so it helps you to release traumas that you're holding on to that you didn't even know that
mm,
you held on to. You can
mm,
access past lives. I never even believed in past lives until doing this. We would doing this
really?
breath work, you would tap in and you could see and actually experience something that you went through in a past life that's affecting you in this life. And then not only
Mm.
seeing it and experiencing it, but releasing it, right? So now you're free of that bondage. You're sometimes people say, I put some videos up on my Instagram of
Okay.
me leading rebirthing ceremonies, and people look at it and they're like, she's doing an exorcism, because sometimes it's scary, right? And it looks like, what the heck is going on? But people are releasing. And so a lot of times in these rebirthing sessions,
Mhm,
people might scream, they might cry, you might even have orgasms. Many people have orgasms during this
mhm,
rebirthing
mhm.
session. So it really depends on where you're at and what you need. And when you come out of it, you're actually rebirth. You're reborn. You feel like a new person. You feel light. You feel free.
So I've had two, three partners, well, two partners and one lover that I swear we were someplace together in a past life.
Yes.
Because of the immediate connection, um, the intensity of the relationship, even it just felt so familiar,
Mm-hmm.
like when you meet someone and then if you become intimate with them, it takes a minute to get into the groove. I mean, even though the sex may be good, but it takes a minute to get into, the rhythm of knowing each other. But out of these three, the two partners and the one who was a lover, never a partner, but it was instant from the instant of meeting through the sexual relationship that we had, partnership that we had. It always felt like it was some kind of past life revisited. And then remember the movie with, it was Will Smith and was it Cameron Diaz? He was like an alien and he could fly, but he was a drunk. And it come to find out they were like from the same planet, and they would like try to escape each other, because when they ended up on the same planet together, all hell would break loose.
Right.
And then they would remember, oh fuck, we're this, and we're not supposed to be on the same planet because we just keep fucking up the planets. And that's kind of how it has felt with those particular partners. So I always found that interesting. I don't know about past life from an educational standpoint or a religious standpoint. I just kind of know it on the top of my head. Like, I believe it's possible, but I think within this life, it's so important to do what you want, with whom you want, and how you want, because if there is such a thing as reincarnation, my thought process is, what if you come back as a leaf on a tree, you live 3 days and then you die?
Right.
You would have missed out on this whole human experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. So,
and I'm glad you said that, because we, I believe we're spiritual beings in a human body, right? Having a human existence. And so if you cut yourself off to not have that human existence, that's human experience, then what's the point of being here? If you cut yourself off from having pleasure, what's the point of being here? And so we have to experience all parts of ourselves and all types of emotions. And sometimes we have to experience pain, and it's a part of it. Unfortunately, it would be great if we didn't have to, but that's what makes us human, is being able to experience that pain, that hurt, that sadness. But it also makes it better when we do, and makes us appreciate when we have the joy, the happiness, and the pleasure. And so if we only had pleasure, then we would take it for granted. We wouldn't appreciate it, because it would just be like, it would be like
another orgasm. Fine.
Right. So we have to have those, the yin and the yang, right? We have to have those the different experiences.
Was it the Tantra that, and the rebirthing and part of your Eat, Pray, Love journey, was that all of that what you learned? Was that what led you to sex and relationship coaching, or did that come before?
So that's a great question. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. And sometimes it happens all at the same time, right?
Right. So when I had my private practice as a psychotherapist, I wanted to work with kids, right? So that was my thing. I was like, oh, I want to work with kids. And it was because I was young. I started my private practice really young, and most people don't.
You're still young.
Thank you. I am still young. And I was like 23, 24 years old, right? And so I didn't feel like I had the wisdom to work with adults and couples. So I was like, I just want to work with kids. But what kept coming to me were couples. What kept coming to me were not only couples, but young adult women, and women coming with relationship issues, who couldn't enjoy sex, who had painful sex. Couples would come and they're not having sex anymore. And so I had to start learning about relationships and sex even then. And not just learning from the intellectual point of view, the psychological point of view, but I realized I have to share my experience, right? Because most therapists don't, right? They teach you, you listen, how does that make you feel? And so, but then I started learning that I have a lot of sexual experience, relationship issues. Now, it may not be the ideal, because it's not what tradition says you should have, this long partner and get married and be happily ever after, but I had a lot of experience. And so that was something I had to learn and share, right? And so again, like this is what I was supposed to be doing, and that's why that kept coming to me. And then when I left and went to Tantra, after doing my Tantra certification, that same commune that I was living at, they offered a sexual relationships and sex coaching certification. So I was like, okay, let me do this as well, you know.
Sure, sure.
I was like, I might as well, you
Why
know,
not?
hand
Yes.
in hand, and I enjoy this. And so kind of happened before, during, and after
Okay. Okay.
the great love journey.
Did
Yeah.
you, is there, you know, out of the multiple teachings that you do, is there one that you lean towards more with regards to it gives you the most joy, meaning that when someone is done, um, either done having a session with you, or they've completed a workshop, or they've completed um, a series of therapy sessions with you? Is there a one particular area that just is like, man, if I could just do this all the time and have these kind of clients? Or is it just kind of like it all?
I love it all, but by far rebirthing and tantric massage. And I'll tell you why
Okay.
tantric massage. So tantric massage. So I started doing this in Brazil when I lived in Brazil, right?
Uh-huh.
And Brazilians are way more comfortable with sexuality. They're open. In the States, we're a little bit more repressed, right? And
So
so
repressed.
a
Yeah.
lot of people also in the US sexually misuse um, different tantric teachings. Now, when I work with women, and I prefer to work with women because again, men, you know, they come and they want specific things, and I'm like, that's not what I'm here for, right? You know, I'm here to do healing so that
Sure.
you can have great sex. Now, when I have worked with men, it's men who have premature ejaculation or some type of dysfunction, right? Sexual dysfunction. But I love working with women who have painful sex, who can enjoy it. And when I do the tantric massage and I do vaginal mapping, we're releasing
Yes.
all of that pain, all of that trauma that's in there. And then when they call me and they say, hey, I enjoyed sex with my husband or my partner for the first time in years.
That is
That just makes
such,
me feel so good. So good.
yes.
I had a client who her gynecologist, she had painful sex. The gynecologist said, you know, take Tylenol, gave her this prescription to take this pain reliever, and
I
wanted to
can't
put
with them.
and then wanted to give her Botox, like to inject Botox in her inside her
Into her
vaginal canal.
cervix and her vagina to
So Botox is a toxin. It's a something
I know.
toxin,
I know.
right? So you're putting this toxin in that's going to numb you. You see people who do Botox in their faces like this, and it's permanent
Right.
like this. This is what's
Yeah.
happening to your vagina, right?
Right.
So you're not feeling pain, but you're not feeling pleasure because it's numb down there. So how does that help you?
How? And this is the thing about Western medicine. It has its place, right?
Yes.
Meaning that Western medicine is only focused on pathology, which is how do we fix what's wrong? But they
Right.
have no clue as to how you got wrong or where this pain is coming from. They don't know where to search. They don't know how to look at the whole body as one interconnected unit. They're just like, here's the pain. This is what I got to fix it. And I'm
Right.
like,
Now
no,
her
but
partner,
huh?
no, I'm sorry. I was
Go
going to say
ahead.
her partner will now feel pleasure because she's able to have sex, but she's not feeling any. And so
Right.
we literally did 6 sessions with the tantric massage, the vaginal mapping, the rebirthing, right?
Mm,
As well as the talk therapy to see where it came
sure.
from, right? And then within 6 sessions, she was like, I can have sex with my husband. And they hadn't
Mm.
had sex in 4 years because it was just so painful. Yeah,
Oh,
4 years. Because he didn't want to, like,
of
also he didn't
course.
want to hurt her. Hmm?
Of course. Yeah, no. And it's so, and some people resolve themselves because their doctor doesn't know. And they're like, well, if our doctor don't know, don't nobody know. And you're like,
Right.
but if you went to, I tell people all the time, if you went to a one mechanic and they didn't fix your car, would you just let the car sit there in the garage? No, you'd find another mechanic. So find another doctor. Look for some other ways that you can be helped. Have you heard of the O nut?
The what? The O nut?
O nut. It
No.
is so for women who have dyna, the painful sex. I can't.
Mhm.
I don't know what it,
Vaginismus. Vaginismus.
vaginismus is one of them. So this woman designed it. I sell it on my site, and it's literally 4 different separate silicone donuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go on the penis to keep the depth, to keep the partner from going too deep.
Oh.
So if the pain is way further in the vagina, he might only need to wear 1. But if it's close, he might need to wear 2. So he can still feel this pleasure,
Ooh.
and she can still get some pleasure without having the pain, the medicine, the Botox. And it's called the O-nut, but it would go hand in hand with what you do, I believe, for some of your clients while you are trying to figure out where exactly this pain is coming from. And it's a simple piece of silicone, but it really does. They call it the humper bumper.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I gotta get that information because I want to order that.
Yeah. They call it the humper bumper. So he's kind of enringed, if you will. And it's soft, and it comes in regular, and it comes in wide for our big boys. And it just keeps him from going too deep.
So how does that work? Like, in terms of, do you put the condom over it or underneath it?
You would put the condom on first. If they're wearing condom, you put the condom first, and you put that on top of the condom.
Gotcha.
Because it's literally like a donut, and it goes on the base of the penis. So they might only need to wear 1. They might need to wear all 4 to keep them from going too deep wherever her pain threshold is, until such time they have a chance to meet with you. And you might be able to do some, vaginal mapping and some therapy, maybe some rebirthing to help them. Because if the doctor can't find anything physically wrong, and we know our physical bodies is more than just the muscle itself, we have the issues or challenges, if you will, with energy and stored trauma and stored energy. And a lot of doctors, they don't know. It's not part of their teaching. So there's no reason for them to be able to explore that. A lot of doctors don't even know about the chemicals in lubricant.
Right. They don't.
I had to tell my own doctor, I'm like, that lube you used for and gave her, she's like, oh, I had no idea. I'm like, this is why some of the women are so dry, because the lubricant's making them dry. It's really, really messed up.
It really is a mess. Yeah.
Interesting. So tell me about the vaginal mapping. So tell me, what is its purpose? How did this come about? And what do you map exactly?
Yes.
I kind of do it like this with a flashlight.
I love it. So it comes from the Chinese medicine, from Taoist. And one of the people that I follow, oh my God, I just forgot his name. Mantak Chia. Mantak Chia. So he also lives in Thailand. He's here in the States as well. But he's Chinese, and he moved to Thailand, opened up his center. And he has some great books if you like to read.
Yes, I want to
sexual reflexology. And so a lot of this information, a lot of the vaginal mapping come from the Taoists. And so inside the vagina, right, you have the organs there. So you have the heart, you have the liver, the penis as well.
Sure.
And actually, when you put the vagina in the penis, they match up, right? Exactly. So the heart is here in the penis, and the heart is like up here in the vagina, right? And you have the liver, you have the kidney, the spleen, and all of those hold on to different emotions. So like the liver is connected to anger, for example. Spleen is worry, anxiety. The kidney is fear. And so when you're mapping and I'm touching these different points, so I kind of go in the vagina and I touch on these different points. And when I press on it, they're releasing these emotions, and they start talking about what they're feeling. So we start to map out, okay, at this point here, at the 2:00 hour, right, or the 6:00 hour, they felt this. And then I start to explain, okay, so your kidney is right here, and that's that fear. And I massage it, and as they're doing breath work to release that. And so now they're releasing those emotions that's stored within the vagina, right? Even if they have the guilt that they might have felt from having multiple partners, or the things that they heard that this is
what their mama said.
Their mama said, yeah. So releasing all of those things. And so
Mm.
that's what we're doing. And we can do the same thing with the penis, right? So with men, you can do the penis mapping and pressing on different points during like a lingam massage, releasing those traumas that's stored around
I
there.
want to do that part.
Yes.
I'm about to set up shop for penis mapping. I used to sell a cock ring called oh my God, it was out of Amsterdam. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden, but it had like a little tail piece on it, and it was made of a really hard resin, and you had to be sized for it because it went from like 40 millimeter to 63 millimeters.
Right.
And on the cruises, when I'm doing the cruises, I would have these cock rings, and I would do my seminar, and I would talk about the benefits of a cock ring. And I said, but you have to be sized. So the guys would come over, and I would literally do cock ring fittings like all day.
Right.
Like, I came to see about the cock rings. I'm like, show me your junk. And they would just drop their pants, and I would go, I think that's like a 45. Yeah.
I would love to do
Yes.
that too.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
fun.
I miss cock ring fittings.
Yes. It's so fun. Like I love, like this is the first time in my life where I can say I love my work, right? Like I don't even consider it work. Like I
No.
love what I do. As a psychotherapist, I love that too, like in a sense that, I was helping people, but it was like, but now I'm like, now I love my work. Right?
Trust me, I understand, because
You understand?
nothing in this world, I don't think anything in this world could get me to do anything other than what I am doing. I guess if I had to do something on the side for something, but
Right.
it's my pleasure. It's my
Right.
joy. Yes. This is it's interesting. Yeah, the vaginal mapping, the sexual reflexology. I just added that book to my website.
Oh, good. Okay.
Actually, and I'm assuming it's the same author. I didn't look at the author. I just saw it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look to see if it's the same. The
It must
gentleman
be. Yeah, it must. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna look to see if it's who you're referring to.
Okay, it must be Montauk Chia because I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen too many other sexual reflexology books, but he's like the godfather of it, So
Nice.
he's a good person,
and he has the mapping in there, and because I have like about 250 books on my website. Everything.
Yes.
Wait, do you have a book?
So I do have a journal. I have a journal, and I'm working on a book. So I know everybody's
Come
like,
on, get it done, girl.
I know, when are you gonna put out your book? But I do have a journal. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Sacred, I have to give it to you. Sacred Goddess Awakening Journal, something like that.
Please send me the link, and I will put it in the show notes. So tell me about the services that you do offer tell me about everything that you offer, so the people will know.
Okay, thank you. So I do offer one-on-one coaching to be a sex goddess, right? I do I do offer one-on-one therapy sessions, tantric coaching for individuals, for couples. I love doing couples. A lot of couples come to me because the sex has died down. They're just not connected anymore. The woman feels like my husband only touches me when he wants to have sex, and I don't feel like he really, really wants to have that connection with me. So I enjoy doing that. And then I also do, I am actually in January, I will be teaching a 3-month Tantric basics certification, because it's a lot. I can't do everything in just 3 months, but starting in January, it'll be the Tantric basics, learning the breath work, movement, sound. So those are like the basic 3 pillars of Tantra. And so once you have that, we can start doing other things. And I'm going to teach yoni breathing, lingam breathing for men.
Okay.
As well as tantric massage. And I do tantric massage sessions. I do yoni breathing sessions.
Okay.
Tantric massage is just great. It helps people to feel pleasure in their bodies. So our bodies, our entire bodies is one huge sexual organ, right?
For sure.
We can feel pleasure throughout, just from touching the shoulders, right? I'm looking at your beautiful shoulders, and I'm like, you can just touch us and have an orgasm from there, right?
Yeah, I'm too ticklish for that.
So I'm glad you said that. So it's so interesting when the sexual places, like, it goes dormant because we're not used to touching it. And then when you
Okay.
feel ticklish, it's because there's a block there, right? There's some type of shame or guilt or some type of trauma that you may not, it might be so
Really?
small.
No,
Yeah.
I'm ticklish like everywhere. No, I just
Yeah. So let me tell you, when I
do.
started working with people who were ticklish, they'll be like, oh my God, I can't. I'm like, just breathe through it. And then
I,
in those spots where they were ticklish, they would start having orgasms just from touching.
so I've always, okay, I believe that, but I've always said, I'm not a light touch girl. Like you can't,
Right.
you need to put your hands on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is how we do the massage. It's a very kind of light
Oh,
touch.
I just be giggling and crying and
But let me tell you, the first session might feel like torture, but sometimes it doesn't. I've had people say that, oh my God, I'm ticklish all over, can't. And then the first session, they're just like, oh my God, this feels great. And then others, after I work with them through breathing through it,
yeah,
2, 3 sessions in, they're
yes.
having orgasms just from that touch.
Yeah,
Girl,
I don't mind the orgasm part. I just don't want to be tickled. I just put your hands on me.
all right.
I need the time
Girl,
massage.
I want to do a massage session on you so you
I
can
want a
feel.
nice, I need a Thai massage.
You need that deep
Don't
tissue.
do that. Don't do right over, damn it. Ah,
Yeah. But that's one of the other things that I love about the tantric massage, because people realize that they can feel pleasure in places they would
Yes.
have never imagined,
Oh my
and have
gosh.
orgasms, squirting, not even having someone, penetrate inside of you or touch the
So
clitoris,
that
right?
drives me insane. I'm like, don't I can. I have no problem squirting, but I do not. This is not an orgasm that I enjoy.
Oh, really?
No, I'm like, don't do that. Don't. Oh,
Right.
here we go. That's how it feels. So we're like, don't. I'm not a toy truck. Stop it. Because as soon as men learn how to make a woman squirt, they treat it like
That's
the
all they want to do.
newest toy, and they won't stop until you're dehydrated, falling off the bed. And so I'm just like, stop it already.
Mhm. And that's so funny because it's so true. Like, there's time. So with women, we can have orgasms, right? And this, we can have orgasms and
Yeah.
we can squirt,
Right.
but and we can squirt and have an orgasm at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
But sometimes, and even for me, sometimes the squirting is like, okay, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm just doing it mechanically. Because I was like, a lot of times in my courses, I was like the model and they were teacher on me. So I'm just
Yeah.
squirting as I'm feeling pleasure, right? But then
Okay.
there's other times where I can squirt and have an orgasm and feel
Yes.
pleasure, or
Yes.
I can have an orgasm and not squirt. Like, you don't have to,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I get that feeling. Like, especially if the guy's doing it because they just want to do that. So same thing when I was saying, when a lot of times women come to me and say the man just touches them just to have
Mm,
sex. And so
mm.
women, we feel that. So when he's just trying to make you squirt because it's this big thing and it's going to feed his ego, I
And it
made
does.
her
Yeah.
squirt,
Yes.
then it does nothing for you. But if he's
Ooh.
really exploring your body and wants you to feel pleasure, he
Yes.
wants you to feel good, and squirting is a byproduct of him really being in tune with your body, then it's
Yes.
great and it feels so good. But there's
Yeah.
a difference, and we feel that difference.
I feel the difference because I'm very in tune. And I'm just like, don't just give me the dick and let's stop
Mhm.
this. We just got to have some
Right.
dick, please. And we can stop this. Yeah, but I want to just go. I can. I'm just not in the mood right now. I just give me the dick. Don't make me take
Right.
it. Take this dick from me. But that's my dominant side. What can I say? So um, so your tantric course, your 3-month course for basic certification
Yes, basic certification.
starts in January, right?
Yes.
Is that already on your website, or do you need to send me a link? So I want to make sure it's in the show notes so people will know where to sign up because they need to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I will send it to you. I will send it to you because
Okay.
it's not on my website yet, but I'm putting it on there. So
Okay.
putting that on there. And then if people are I don't know when is this gonna come, when is this gonna
It's
air?
most likely this weekend. or Friday?
Okay, this weekend. So December 17th, I am having a cacao ceremony. It's a
Oh,
tantric cacao ceremony.
okay. Well, send me that.
Okay, I'll send you that. That's
Okay.
for those who are it could be virtual as well as in person.
Nice.
Because what I'm going to do for December 17th, in person, we're gonna have the cacao, we're gonna drink it. But those who are virtual, I will send them the link, the Zoom link, but I am also going to give them a video showing me making the cacao in a little ritual, and they can make it along with me.
Very
And then
nice.
so they'll get that extra little teaching of how to make the cacao.
Oh, that's
And
going to
I'll
be
send
very
them
nice.
the link. Yeah, so I'll send them the link to where they can buy the cacao, and then they'll have actually a course that other people would have to pay for, but this is all included. And
Yes,
so they can make it along with me, and then we drink together. And then we do all
very
of the
nice.
healing work, the breathing work together. So that's at 11 a.m. on December 17th. That's a Sunday.
Perfect. Oh, well, listen, Chica, it has been so good having you here.
I know. Girl, we need a longer time. An hour is just not enough. We could there's so much
You'll
we
have
could
to
be
come
talking
back.
about. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you being here and sharing all of your wisdom and your sexy stories about the men in the Latin country. Because trust me, Argentinians, Colombians, Chica, and I have an accent. I wouldn't quite call it a fetish. It's more of a kink. I have an accent kink. So I'm like, say it again.
Oh my God. Oh, I think I do too.
I love all, I mean, even like Southern accents from Texas and North Carolina. I had a guy at a swing party say to me, girl, you so sexy. I butter you like a biscuit. Ooh, like a biscuit, you say. Right? Let's get to butter. And so all the accents. So listen to my amazing audience, to stay up to date with Prandhara. Her website is prandharaprem.com. Of course, everything will be in the show notes. Her Instagram is Prandhara Prem _Tantra. And of course, her Facebook is Renee Adolphe. And to stay up to date with Sisters of Sexuality, if you have any questions for me or my guests, feel free to email me at sistersofsexuality@gmail.com. And you can catch us on all of our social media at Sisters of Sexuality. And by all means, visit our sponsors, Liberator.com, UnionCondoms.com. And of course, remember, you get 20% off with your first Union Condoms order with the code Organic Love. And of course, my sister site, Organic Lovin'. I do want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And if this episode, resonated with you, would you please consider subscribing as a way of supporting the growth of this channel? And, it allows us to keep informing, educating, and entertaining you in all areas of sex, sexual health, kink, relationships, and the business of sex. So until next time, stay sexy and bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you.
Organic Lovin', for the bodies you love to love. How do people describe you? Are you curious, playful, maybe sensual, adventurous? How about open-minded? The truth is, no matter who you are, Organic Lovin' has something to indulge your fantasies. We offer only organic, natural, and eco-friendly intimate body products, including vegan condoms, organic lubricants, body-safe sex toys, and sex-positive books. You won't find anything harmful in our products or toys. We also have a full range of other experiences, including erotic seminars and exotic adult-only vacations. Receive our adult subscription box for a monthly sexual delight. Be educated, entertained, and informed. Organic Lovin', for her, for him, for you, for the bodies you love to love. Visit organiclovin.com. We offer shipping worldwide, so stop by the site anytime. Organic Lovin', that's LOVEN.com.